This is a key guard with raised tabs, and it's recently off the printer, so every tab has support material underneath it. This is what it looks like when that support material has been removed. The remaining tabs all have that same support material. So notice that the tab has a thin neck on it right here. And the weak point for the tab is going to be right in here once it rises above the rest of the key guard. We're looking at the same key guard in my slicer, and if you remember, a 3D print is weakest between layers rather than within a layer. So let's look specifically at a raised tab here and see where it is likely to be weakest. And we can look at the print as if it were being printed layer by layer. So all of these layers are very strong. We see the start of the raised tab being produced, but again, all of this is within a layer, so this little chunk here is still very strong, very strongly attached. Still very strongly attached. And this is the first point at which, between here and here, this is the first point at which there is a bit of filament that is no longer connected to the rest of the printer, or connected to the rest of the 3D print. And we see that that continues here. So all of these layers are isolated from the rest of the key guard. And so breaking a tab anywhere in these layers is much easier than breaking anything that is connected into a large piece of the key guard. So if it's going to snap right in here. Well, we don't want to snap it when we're removing the support material. So close, we can see there's an interface between the support material down here and the rest of the tab up above. And what we're going to use some sort of flat pointed object. I have a small screwdriver here, and we're going to wedge that in between, at this interface between the support material and the tab itself. And we're just going to work it back and forth and then twist side to side. And it came off. Different slicers do support material differently. Sometimes it's easier to get off, sometimes it's harder to get off, and you usually have control over that in the slicer settings. But the important thing is not to push down on the support material, but rather, if you can, wedge between the actual printed object and support material.